everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Wayward Lasses, All the Things podcast. I'm your host today, Brittany, joined by our mother, Amy.
Hello, daughter.
Did you first this time? My sister, Courtney.
Hello, sister.
Hello. And our very special guest for this evening, Diana Hamilton.
Hi.
Hello. We're so glad to have you on the episode tonight. But before we hop into Diana's story and her business, Courtney has some trivia for us. So, sister, take it away.
All right. I'm happy you didn't call me Sister Courtney again. I felt like a nun last time. She was like, Sister Courtney. And I was like,
Sister Courtney.
Never call me that again, please. No, kidding. All right. So our topic for trivia tonight for our listeners, it is Twilight. We're sticking with the first movie. See if I'll throw some other ones in there. But all right, ladies. So let's see how you do. Mom, Britt, did you guys see? Brittany, I know you saw this movie. Mom, did you?
And read all the books.
And you did. I remember that. Mom, did
but
you?
It's been a very long time.
No,
Mom has not probably.
Mom has not.
I watched the movie like a long time ago.
Well, all right. Well, let's
long time ago.
Yes. All right. So question number 1. Let's see how much you pay attention.
Oh,
In
Lord.
which class did Edward and Bella first meet? Do you want me to?
Diana, do you have it?
Yes, I know the answer. It's biology.
Oh, yes.
I was going to say chemistry.
No.
I should have just said science to cover it
I was
all.
just going to say, I love that she didn't even just say science class. She said biology. She knows.
That's right, because they dissect something and he's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
The blood.
I think he smells her. I think that's... Anyway.
She cuts herself. She cuts her finger, right?
I think it's in the second or third movie.
That's it. Yeah. And that's Jasper.
Yeah.
He just likes the scent of her. Like there's like something about her that whatever. We're gonna keep going. Number 2. So which disease nearly killed Edward in 1918?
I know that one.
Go for it.
That is the Spanish influenza.
That's right.
Good.
Yes. Very good.
Alrighty. All right. Number 3. Where does Jacob live?
In the woods.
So, okay, the choices are Forks, La Push, Port Angeles, or Seattle.
He lives in La Push, right? Or no,
Yes.
that's the beach.
No, it is. It is La Push. It's the tribe outside of La Push, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It was good.
Very good.
All right. Let's see. Okay, do you remember James?
Mm-hmm.
What is James's special ability? He is a telepath, he is a tracker, he is a shield, he is exceptionally fast.
Yes, he's a tracker.
Oh, that is accurate. How you doing there, Ma?
I would concur.
I concur.
I
say yes. I say that's accurate. All right. This I actually didn't know. I don't know if this was a detail in the books that I missed, but let's see if you guys get it. So what do vampires feel when their eyes turn black? Your choices are happy, strong, angry, thirsty.
Thirsty.
Yeah.
Accurate. And now I'm thinking about all the times that I saw Jasper, or when I think Edward first gets that whiff of Bella when his eyes turn different color.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. All right, couple more. Which city did Bella live in before moving to Forks?
Phoenix.
Yep.
Okay, sister.
You got it.
Okay. Still doing good over there, Mom?
Lost.
All right, Mom, maybe you know this one. Maybe. Okay. Why are the Cullens, the Cullen family, why are they considered vegetarian vampires?
I know this.
Any guesses, Ma?
They don't feed off of humans.
Yes. What do they feed off of?
Animals.
Yay! You did it, Ma. Oh my gosh. All right, let's do... Okay, this one might be for the true fan only, but let's see. Which book tells the story of Twilight from Edward's perspective?
That's Midnight Sun.
Yes, ma'am. That is accurate. Midnight
Very
Sun.
nice. Very nice.
Did you get to read that one?
I read it when it leaked in like 2009, but I never actually ended up reading the one that she published because I was an adult, and then I just don't read as much anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have the time.
I never got to read it, but like I read like all about it, but I didn't actually read it. So
Same. I remember it was like, oh, Edward's perspective, da 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 da.
But
And then I
never
think by the
actually
time
read
it
it.
came out, I was just like,
I'm over it.
all right. Last question. Which year was the first Twilight movie released?
2008.
Dang, girl. Good for you.
I was in like 5th grade, I think.
Oh,
oh wow. I was gonna guess something around there because I saw it in high school with Dad and Ricky. Because it was funny. They thought we like vampire things, right? And they thought it was going to be some like crazy like Blade. They thought it was going to be like Blade, and it was not like Blade at all. So they were just there like, oh my god, and I was like, oh, I'm falling in love.
I remember Dad complaining. I remember him being like, "What? Who has sparkly vampires?" Like he was so mad about Edward being like glittery and sparkly. Like, stop eating, Dad. It's a love story with vampires in it.
Love story. I can't say this enough. Just like how you feel about that character off Blacklist, I cannot stand Kristen Stewart in that role. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was rough.
It was rough.
Yeah, they could have casted that better, but you know.
Mm-hmm. I remember reading the books, and when he left her, there was, I can't remember what book it was, but like as you flip the pages, it was like January and then February. I turned each page and I was like,
oh, it's so long.
Turn the page.
Yeah.
It's very involved in those books. Wow, good job on the trivia, Cor and Diane. You got so many.
Very
of those.
nice.
He's a true
Twilight fan.
True fan.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop into today's episode. Like, once again, we are interviewing Diana Hamilton, and she is the owner of the Hamilton Household, which is a natural gifting company. Before we hop into, the business and everything and ask you all those ins and outs, all the things of that, could you give our listeners just a little intro to who you are?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Diana Hamilton. I am 24 years old, living in Greenville, South Carolina. And I have an 8-month-old baby boy who's the light of my life. And so my husband and I, we live in a house that we just absolutely love. And I like to go gardening and go to the farmers markets and let's see, what else do we like to do? We like to go hiking. We're state park pass holders, so we like to go there on weekends. We're trying to get all the stamps to like get the whole park explorer thing. You get like free t-shirts or something. But we do like hiking the trails with our dog, Raven, and we have 2 cats too, but they don't come on the trails with us.
I wish cats could be. Some people train their cats as outdoor cats. Mine's sitting right here next to me, sleeping in her little bed. But I don't want to let her go outside because then I feel like she wouldn't come home because they're so curious and things like that. But I've seen videos of people who will go hiking and like ride a motorcycle with their cat on their body, like in a little holder.
Yeah, they make backpacks that have like little bubbles in them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much our cats would really like that. But also, I don't want to pay for heartworm pills for the cats once they start going outside. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep them inside. They'll be cool. We might build a catio outside of our house. So they can just go through a little door and then go out there and hang out.
I love that.
That's awesome.
If you do it, I need pictures so I can nudge my husband to try to do that.
100%.
Yeah, he'll be like, absolutely not. Okay, so if you can you kind of tell us what the Hamilton Household is about? How did you get started in this business? What was your reasoning for getting into this? Because I know it's a natural gifting company and you're doing these simmer pods. Can you kind of tell us how you kind of got into that?
Yeah, definitely. So when I was pregnant with my son, I actually started it as a blog. I bought the domain. I started writing little posts and stuff, but I never published it. And then when I gave birth, obviously I had no time to do that. But the blog was basically supposed to be about um, natural living and kind of living with more intentionality about, you know, living low toxic products. And, there's candles and all the artificial fragrances and dyes. And, when you're pregnant and you have a lot of time, you just kind of go down rabbit holes. And there's a lot of stuff that is toxic and it's just terrible for our bodies. And, obviously, I'm not perfect. I just started this life and, I got rid of fragrances first of all. And then I'm working towards, cleaners, my laundry detergent, dishwasher tablets, all that stuff with the highest amount of chemicals that I've been using. I'm trying to slowly get them out of my life. While also living kind of lower waste as well. I compost. We have a compost bin in our backyard. We're planning on getting chickens soon, so we can feed them our kitchen scraps. So that'll be really fun. But with the simmer pots, I started um, making them as uh, alternatives to candles. So instead of filling the house with artificial fragrances, I researched how to do them, and it's super simple. Like you really just cut fruit and put whole spices in a pot and you simmer it on the stove. And a lot of people do that without realizing it. I talked to a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I didn't know that it had a name. It's a simmer pot." I boil some apples or some oranges on the stove with some cinnamon, um, and then make it smell really good. But a lot of people don't really have access to that stuff, like whole spices. I don't know very many people that just have whole cinnamon sticks or whole cloves, around their
Yeah.
house. So I have a dehydrator and I made dehydrated orange slices, dehydrated apple slices, and pumpkin as well. And I dehydrated those, put them in some little kits, and I was making them for stocking stuffers. But I posted in my local Facebook group about them, and I was like, would anybody really be interested in these? And I got so many responses that I had to pick it up and create like an Etsy. I had to because I took way too many orders. I took more orders than I had stock. I was like okay, for the next like week I have to dehydrate things like constantly. My dehydrator was running 24/7 for the first like couple weeks, and that was fantastic. And I hadn't planned on doing that. I really didn't think that the simmer pot kits were going to take off like that, but they really did, and I'm so glad that they did. But I'm so excited to also expand my products. Like I'm launching on Monday a natural cleaner, so like a pine infused cleaner, and it only has 4 ingredients in it, and it's natural and wonderful. I've been testing it and using it, and it makes the house smell really good too with the pine. And I launched my blog, and so I'm writing about that too. So it's just been fantastic, and I'm so glad that I'm doing it because I'm sharing what I love with everybody. And, I'm just so passionate about this. So I'm really excited to do it.
I love that. I love that. I'm looking at your shop right now, and I should have already ordered some so I can have some in the background, but I'm definitely going to grab some of these.
Yeah.
I love like the packaging you did with it and all of that. You guys really need to check out her Etsy shop, The Hamilton Household. I love all of this.
So
Thank you.
I have a question. How long does like when you dehydrate them and you send these little kits, how long could they keep? How long would they stay not fresh, but could you keep them like if I ordered a whole bunch, how long would you be able to keep them in the pantry before you had to boil them?
Yeah. So as long as you keep them out of like a high moisture area,
Mm-hmm.
they last for a really long time. Like because I seal the bags pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say probably 3 or 4 months at the
Oh,
very least.
wow.
Um, but I know, like, I'm from Florida, so I'm used to humidity in the air, so things like that don't keep as well down there. But um, once you start using them, they last for about 3 to 4 days. Sometimes I stretch it a little bit longer than that, um, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to compost it. And I mean, it still smells good. So, but once you start boiling it, the kits last for a couple of days. You can continue to boil them over and over again. Even I like putting them in the crock pot so I don't have to baby the stove all
That's a good
day.
idea.
Yeah, so they just keep going all day. I put it on high, make sure that there's water in it, and it makes the house smell good all day without me having to really worry about the gas stove. And I'm like, I don't really want to keep that on all day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
During Christmas time, I actually usually I'll take cranberries, cinnamons, orange slices, and cloves, and I'll boil them. But I will always forget they're on the stove. Before I know it, there's no water left, and I'm like, "There's something burning. What does
Oh,
that smell?" I've done that so many times because while I'm cooking or we're decorating the Christmas tree or whatever, I'll have it just like simmering, and then I'll forget to do it again. And like right now, I have cranberries sitting in my fridge that are like ready to be thrown out and I just never use them. So I love like the idea of like them being dehydrated and being able to like store them because then I don't have to worry about buying all these like fresh ingredients and having to worry about making sure I use them in time. Like I could just grab them from the pantry whenever I want to things to smell nice. That's a really cool idea. I like that.
yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So, a
Yeah.
couple questions I have.
Mhm.
First, I don't know which one to go with. I'm trying to maybe go with the flow with what you guys are talking about. Completely new to the simmer pot. So you have to dry them. Like I can't take like old cranberries or blueberries that are like molded in my fridge and just throw them in a pot and then boil them. Like so wait, like I'm completely new to it, and so what does that entail when you do you have to dry the fruit in order to get the aroma that you're looking for? And then
Yeah.
how did you even like I know you're talking about clean living and looking for clean products, so a two-part question. What was it that influenced you? Was there somebody who influenced you? Was there something that happened in your life that you decided to take on this path? So yeah, those two questions. I was just as you were talking, I'm like, how do you do that? I have no idea how you do that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. To answer your first question, no, you do not have to dehydrate them.
Okay.
Honestly, my favorite to do is to do it fresh. If you have fresh oranges or fresh apples, maybe not moldy ones. I don't, I don't know about that, but I mean, I guess if you wash them off, like I don't know, you can. But there's some things that make the smell better. So like apples, oranges, coffee grounds are really good.
Oh.
So like recently my dad I guess used rancid oil on accident and it made the house smell really bad and I told him over the phone. I was like, take a pot of water, put some coffee grounds in it and boil it and it'll just take that smell right out.
Hmm.
Um, and then I recommend putting like whole spices in. So if you have whole cinnamon sticks or like cloves, nutmeg, those things are really good for fragrance. But things like blueberries, I don't know, strawberries, any kind of berry, they don't really smell at all if you
Right.
try to boil them. But yes, you can absolutely have fresh fruit. That is my favorite way to do it. Um, and then to answer your second question, yes, being pregnant definitely made me more aware of what I was putting into my body, what I was using topically, what I was using around the house. I really got inspired by trying to be the best version of myself for my son. And um, I just, I never, I don't want to expose him to all these chemicals if I can
Mhm.
help it. Obviously, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be perfect about it. There's still things like, ice cream. Like, I don't want to give up ice cream. So, that's okay. Like, we can do that. But like things like, the cleaner that you use,
Mhm.
Windex or um, even just all-purpose cleaner that you really you can use such simple ingredients and they do the job just as well, if not better sometimes. And you're not getting that residue because my son puts everything in his mouth. Like,
Yeah.
it's disgusting, but I'm like, I don't want him to be putting something that I disinfected with bleach or Clorox wipes that have all these ingredients in them, and he's putting them right in his mouth, and
Mm.
he's consuming that, and it's going into his bloodstream. I don't like the idea of doing that. So he really did inspire me when
Mm.
he wasn't even born yet to be better about that stuff.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right.
That's so true because I have like a little cleaning business on the side, and I use Lysol for a lot of the stuff that I do. And when I go in to clean showers, I mean, I'm spraying all the walls and everything. And there have been times where I'm like, holy cow, like I get lightheaded from all the chemicals that I'm
Yeah.
using. So I'm really excited about this new thing that you're launching on Monday. Because I would love to be able to switch all my cleaning products to something that's more natural and safe for you. Because especially when you're cleaning and doing things like that, I've already seen things that animals can get sick from Lysol.
Yeah.
So I stopped using it. For now, I'm trying to find other things to use. But you're right, there are so many chemicals in the products that we use to clean, and I think as a society we want to use those because we're taught and told that you know this chemical is going to make it clean, it's going to disinfect it, you need these types of chemicals to get rid of all of that. But you're right, there is such a more natural way to do those things, and I love that you're exploring that and kind of sharing that knowledge with people and bringing these products out to help make the world a little less toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for instance, the pine cleaner that I'm launching, pine has natural antimicrobial properties. It's not a disinfectant what I'm selling, but it does have disinfectant properties, which is fantastic. But it's also, if you keep disinfecting everything all the time, your immune system starts to
Mm-hmm.
suffer from that
Yeah.
too. You're not getting germs. Almost everybody's working from home, like
Mhm.
nobody's actually going out as much and exposing themselves to germs. And if we're just living in a bubble and making sure that everything's disinfected all the time, we ruin our immune systems. And then
Mhm.
that's how you
Yeah.
get kids that are like the COVID babies that are going to daycare and they're just sick all the time
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's their first time being exposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm going through that with my kids. My oldest is 17 and my little ones are 4 and 6. And this past winter, fall and winter, they were sick like every other week. And I said to my doctor, I was like, this is a lot. Like should I be concerned? And she said, this is the norm now.
Mm.
Wow.
Unfortunately, kids their age, she's like, I see my patients once a month for an ear
Ouch.
infection for my daughter had 2 sinus infections in the fall, 2. And she was like, they're unfortunately they during that period in their lives where they should have been exposed to you know germs, they were stuck in the house, and so a lot of their immune systems are pretty weak. So
Wow.
yeah, it's frustrating as a parent, especially when you have school age kids because they're missing school, and it's, oh my goodness, it's a lot. um but I want to also talk about how you touched on chemicals in like our soaps and our shampoos. It's not just cleaning products. It's
Mhm.
like, and unfortunately, I find that like when you're on a budget and you want to run to
Mhm.
Walmart and you want to grab this shampoo real quick, or this soap real quick because it's the cheapest one, usually those are the ones that are the worst for you. And I recently did that. My son has eczema, and we went away for the weekend and forgot to bring his soap. So I just ran to the store, didn't think anything of it, grabbed him, a over the counter just body wash. And the next day, he came out and he had rashes, horrible, like almost like burns under his arms. And I
Oh.
was like, "Oh my God, son, I'm so sorry. This has to be." And I looked at the bottle and I wish I could pronounce or even remember what the ingredients were, but I was like, I am so sorry. Like it didn't even think about it. But he had these horrible, it was almost like a burn, and he couldn't put his arms down. It was
Oh.
horrible. And so I only buy him like naturally made soaps with nothing additional in it. So it's like really unfortunate when you guys start reading the labels of some of the stuff that we're putting on our body. Forget about just cleaning with, and we're actually like bathing in this stuff. So bad. You're right. So toxic, right?
It is. It's really bad. And I mean, there's natural remedies for things because I suffer from eczema and so does my son. We do sometimes oatmeal baths. So
Mm.
just take a bath with some oats in it. For some reason that works to calm it down. Oats are really a really good natural remedy for eczema. And things like lotion and stuff. I used to be, Bath and Body Works because it
Hmm.
smells
Mm.
good and, it makes you smell good all day. But I realized that putting that stuff on my body makes my eczema so much worse. So I just basically use coconut oil for lotion.
Yeah.
I'll do a little tiny bit or like cocoa butter or just one simple ingredient.
Mhm.
Or sometimes I make like a little whipped body butter for, a little like a week long, and I'll take it and I'll just use that, and it ends up being cheaper than buying the the natural product at the store or just buying the not good cheap product at the store
Hmm.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually used that for a little bit. I need to do it again. I had coconut oil, like in a jar. So like when it's not warm enough, it will kind of solidify a little bit. But actually, if you keep it in the shower and it reaches a certain temperature, it will start to melt a little. And because I have eczema too, when my eczema was really bad, I would just in the shower just rub it all over my entire body. It's weird because you're kind of like slimy.
Oily.
Um, and you're oily, but it melts a little in the shower. I mean, it is weird, and it's slick. You got to be careful because when you're
Yeah.
getting out.
Disclaimer.
But after you're so moist, it was better than any lotion I've ever used to use that in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that in
Oh,
my hair too because I have super curly and frizzy hair, and I I should probably go back to it. Take a little bit of coconut oil after my showers and just kind of like rub it. If you have
huh.
thin or greasy hair, it won't work. But if
Yeah.
you have like thick, coarse hair like me, it really like it would had made so nice and shiny and soft, and it was fabulous. And I don't know why I stopped. I'm gonna go get some coconut oil tomorrow.
You ran out and you forgot to buy
That's
it.
probably yeah. You're right. It's probably it.
Same.
Yeah,
And you've really got me thinking about a lot of these things, like
Mhm.
about changing what I'm washing my clothes with and then doing the dishes. And
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start making a
I
list
think
now.
it's really interesting because, when you start to have this awareness of the types of chemicals that are in the products that you use, whether it's on your face, on your body, whether you use it to clean or cook, I make the analogy of we want to start eating cleaner. And you want to try and buy fresh vegetables and make everything fresh. And really what turns out happening is it's expensive, right?
Mhm.
And then people just can't keep up with that because it really is expensive to shop the perimeter of the grocery store, and it's just much easier to buy the pre-made stuff and the box stuff with all the chemicals. It's like is the cost, you're talking about the new product that you're launching. Do you find that it's more cost effective to, I guess, make your own, cleaning supplies or, deodorant? I don't say deodorant, soap or lotions. Do you think it's more cost effective, or could it be more cost effective if you knew what ingredients to use? Or would you agree that it really is just expensive to go that route?
I think that sometimes it is more expensive. So, for example, you brought up deodorant. That I've made my own deodorant before, and you have to use like arrowroot powder and baking soda, and there's a few obscure ingredients, and I found that it was way more expensive because I went to the store and I spent $40 on these ingredients that I don't have in my pantry. I don't
Yeah.
have arrowroot powder in my pantry, and it ended up being more expensive. But something like coconut oil, like a jar like this is probably going to cost me at the most $8.
Hmm.
And even for their organic one. Um, and that lasts me forever.
Yeah.
I really, if I'm using it in my bathroom for lotion or for like a little cut or scrape, or if I put it in my hair a little bit, or if I use it as a makeup remover, it's replacing so many products that
Hmm.
it makes it worth it.
Right.
But like things like deodorant,
Yeah, that's tough.
sometimes if you keep it going, maybe it might end up being cheaper, but some things also you have to value your time too,
Mhm.
more than the worth. Let's, like, I'd rather order something from a small business on Etsy, somebody in North Carolina making natural soap from their goats in their backyard. I'd rather order that than make my own.
Mhm.
Because I value my time more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, real quick. Did you say you use coconut oil as a makeup remover?
Yes, it works really well as a makeup remover. Yes,
He's
you
like, I'm
put
going.
yes, as long as you might have to use another cleanser afterwards
After, yeah.
because your face will be probably a little bit oily. Um,
Yeah.
but it is great for a makeup remover. I use those like those cotton rounds, but I have
Mm-hmm.
reusable ones that you can wash.
Oh.
And then I just put a little bit of coconut oil on that, rub it kind of so it gets, like not solid. and then
Yeah.
and then you just use it like a makeup pad. And then I
Gosh.
just have a little basket that I put my little reusable rounds in and then wash them with my laundry.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to the store tomorrow to get coconut oil because I
You
just
know,
spent like $12, if not more, on makeup remover wipes, and they get the makeup off. But after, because I have very dry skin, my face is like hard. I'm just like,
yeah.
oh, like I just then go on a lather lotion. Alex calls them my snake oils that I put on my face at night. All the snake oils I use. Yep.
Pretty. I was gonna say that I had a friend once teach me that putting the oils also, like when you take your makeup off, having the coconut oil sit on your eyelashes, like when you go to sleep, will actually
Mm.
stimulate growth and help them to grow.
Are you talking about my short lashes, my
Well,
short llama
listen, that
lashes?
wasn't my words. You were the one who's complaining about your eyelashes. I was just giving you a solution there.
They go straight down.
She calls them lava lashes.
Because they are off topic. Off topic. Oh my god, I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
I actually want to kind of switch gears a little bit, if that's okay with you, ladies, and I want to talk a little bit about the business aspect
Mhm.
of it. So you're 24, you have an 8-month old. You're well, he wasn't 8 months when you started the business, but you decide that you want to start this business. But how did you get the confidence to do that? The resources, like what? Talk us through that process for you about starting that business and maybe some of the challenges that you faced, along the way while setting that up.
Oh, definitely. So I've really, my goal is to be a stay-at-home mom at some point. I am working from home full time, so I do have a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and I just really have this goal of being a stay-at-home mom, and being with my son all day. I mean, he is home with me all day, but I want to be more attentive to him all day. Um, but really, I didn't really have the confidence to do it until I threw myself I accidentally threw myself into it. Like I said, I posted on my local Facebook mom group and asked if anybody would really be interested in it, just thinking that maybe I could make 15-20 bucks for, a weekend lunch out or something like that. And it really just spiraled so quickly that I had to learn so fast, and I had to learn so much. Like I was researching, I was like, all right, well, how do I start an LLC? Like, is that
Mhm.
even the right thing to do? But I did it anyways. And, and I kind of just threw myself into it. And um, I think I used this year, I took this January off of social media to kind of revamp everything. I got my blog ready to launch. And I worked on new products and everything like that. And I was really focusing on goals for this year for my business to kind of make it um, more intentional, I guess, because previously I was just kind of like posting whenever and, trying to juggle being a mom, being a worker full time, and also having a small business and also being a wife and, all this stuff I was juggling. And I really sat down and I'm like, I need to be intentional about this. So I have my goals written out by quarter. I'm trying. I opened a business bank account and all this like all the technical stuff, and I launched my blog, and I have all the steps that I need to do for my products that I want to launch. And it really was hard at first. Or well, it's still hard. I mean, I don't think it ever really gets easier, but it is really fun now, and I'm trying to find the joy in having my own business, and hopefully one day making it so I can be a stay-at-home mom. That's really the motivating factor, is that. And um I think that really, really helps me push forward, push through those days where I'm just like, wow, I have a couple orders to fill and I really don't feel like it. But I'm like, you know what? This is what I signed up for. And this is what I need to do. So I've just been having fun with it. It's fun to meet new people too, to network and have be on podcasts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that because I think that's something very scary that everyone deals with. Because I also have launched a small business, and it's just like very overwhelming at first. Well, I need to do this, I need to do that. But you had mentioned it; you just kind of threw yourself into it. You kind of just have to get started, and through that process, you'll figure that out. But you've done the hard work, and I'm just really glad that you mentioned that part of it. That's one of the reasons why we do the podcast. Is so many other podcasts, women already have the amazing 6-figure business, and they already are in the best shape of their life. And one of the reasons we have this is to show people it's okay to struggle. It's okay the struggle is part of it. And just you sharing that makes it so much real for everyone. So thank you so much for sharing that. I do have a question for you, for our listeners, looking into starting their own small business, and maybe they don't have the confidence yet and they're kind of going through what you were explaining. Do you have any advice for our listeners if they want to kind of get started with their business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that having people who are supportive, who are around you, is the best thing ever. I mean, before I posted on Facebook, I called my dad and I was like, "Hi dad." Like I'm like, I have this product idea. Do you think that this would do you think that this would take off? I don't know. I'm just maybe a couple people would be interested." And he's like, "Go for it. Shoot for the moon." Now he's like, you know, get a warehouse, like get all this machinery, hire people. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But he's so supportive, and so is my husband. And, having people around you that are supportive is the best part of being a small business owner. Like, I mean, even if you don't have family around, maybe some friends or local Facebook groups, I'm telling you, I'm part of, like, I don't know, probably like 10 groups on Facebook, but there's one in Greenville that's like specifically for moms who are in Greenville who are small business owners. And it's great because then you can post on it and you can be like, "Hey, I'm like thinking about starting this business. Does anybody have good advice for me? Does anybody know, like, maybe I shouldn't start an LLC, maybe I should do this other thing and register my business this way. How do I do taxes?" Like, all that stuff. So I really think having a good support system is the best piece of advice that I could ever give anybody.
Yes, I agree. Find your tribe. Find your tribe. And I've got to say, just doing this podcast with the two of them, like, they're my biggest, hoorahs and cheers and supporters. So definitely find your tribe. I love that you shared that. What are you laughing at, Courtney?
Nothing. Her tribe.
It's really interesting though, because it's a question that we've asked the ladies that we've interviewed so far, and I'll show you all my notes, and the word that always pops up when I'm taking down notes is support, or find your community. And I think in this day and age, it's really wonderful that we have the internet that we can turn to. We have social media that we can look at and find people. Whereas, ladies from before didn't have that and had to really struggle on their own. But I'm finding a theme: support and community. It's just a comment I wanted to throw in there. I think that's really the key though, because going it alone can be very overwhelming. And at times you can feel very defeated. And even just the support of, you being a mom and starting a business and working a 9 to 5 job and being a wife. It's like, how do you handle all those things? And when you talk to other people who are in the same situation as you and have the same, challenges that they're going through in their life, I feel like you're not as alone anymore. And you feel like, hey, if you can do it, I can do it. And you guys are there rooting for each other and pushing each other along and encouraging each other. So I love that you said that, because that's another note that I've taken again, where I wrote down support and community. So, all right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that it's really great to have just a support system, and it's like, when you have friends that are encouraging you and they're like, "Oh, like when do you launch your product? Can I buy something from you?" And, or can I share this on my social media? And, it's even just like a like on your Facebook page,
Mhm.
from somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. It's really encouraging, and I think that people, like you said, the internet makes it so much easier now to have a support system. I mean, I made friends with complete strangers, and network that way, and it's been fantastic. I've made so many good friends.
I love that.
Yeah,
I do. I love it.
it's awesome.
Um, question for you. What are, if you don't mind sharing with us, what are your goals for this next year? Because we're thinking about maybe having everyone come back in a year and just kind of seeing how you did with those. If you could share with us your goals.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I would like to launch at least, 4 more products, for sure. So after this launch for the cleaner, because I really want to be like kind of a one-stop shop for people,
Mhm.
to come to, and be able to get cleaners or simmer pot kits, or some other thing that they could replace easily in their life. Um, I want to grow my following on Instagram and Facebook, obviously. And hopefully by the end of the year, I am going to have a set in stone plan of, how much income do I have to be making in order to quit my job and take the leap and, be a full-time mom. That would be fantastic. I would really like to at least have like a written down plan for that
Mhm.
of the year.
Yeah, those
Awesome.
are great goals. I love that. And when you do come up with those 5 products, I'm going to be
You have your
tagging all of
customers right
them.
here.
You've got 3 new customers.
Yes, yes. Actually, can't wait to try the simmer pots as soon as we're done here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go
I
order
have them in my
some. Simmer
cart.
kits, simmer kits. Yes, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
have
try
them in my
that.
cart. But if you said your cleaner's launching Monday,
Yes, it'll
so,
be
okay.
Are
on
you
Monday.
I think I'll
gonna?
wait till Monday because I already have 3 simmer kits in my cart. I'll wait for Monday to get the cleaner, and I'll be your next order.
Very
Sounds good.
nice. Well, Diana, this has been so much fun. I have to tell you, I really learned a lot from you. I really enjoyed this conversation. You've given me a lot to think about, and you have inspired me to go back to being green. I feel like there was a point in my life where I was doing that, and then I got probably a little lazy with it because sometimes it is easier, like you said, to just go to the store and grab the Lysol wipes or whatever. But you've definitely given me a lot to think about, and I think inspired me to go back to trying to be a little more green and be a little more mindful, a lot more mindful of the products I'm using. So thank you for that. And before we close out, do you want to let our listeners know how they can get in touch with you? Your Etsy shop or your Instagram handle. Share that with everybody.
Yeah, definitely. So Instagram and Facebook is the.Hamilton household. And my Etsy is etsy.com/shop/the Hamilton household. And then my blog is thehamiltonhousehold.com. So that's pretty easy
Yeah.
to remember.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Everyone listening, go check out the Hamilton household. So excited to see what's to come for you. And yeah, Ma, do you want to close us out for the evening?
Close this out. I do, but I actually just wanted to ask her one
Oh, I'm
more question.
sorry. I should have
Just in
asked.
case, was there anything that we didn't cover, Diana, that you would want our listeners to know?
I really don't think so. This has been a fantastic in depth interview, and I'm so excited for you guys to just take off too. Like I'm rooting for you guys,
Aw,
and
thank you.
I'm so excited to listen to all the season 2 podcasts.
Yay! We're excited too. And I wanted to mention something too. You had mentioned this earlier. It's not about changing everything at once,
Yeah,
taking it
yeah.
slow, step by step. So, I think I'll start with this cleaner that you've got. And then the next, I'll start, one by one. So I think
Go to
that's
get that
also important
coconut
to
oil.
know.
That's step
I'm
one.
getting the coconut oil, step number 1 tomorrow.
Yes,
But
I
yes,
think
Diana, go
yeah,
ahead.
it really is important. Like, I mean, I want to make sure that people don't see me on social media as the one who has it all together. And,
Yeah.
the people that you scroll on, you're like, oh my goodness, she cloth diapers and she doesn't have any toxins in her home and she cooks from scratch every meal. Like, I don't want to be that person because I'm not that person. I make mistakes, but I pick myself back up and I just get on with it. Like, okay, so what that I used one Lysol wipe to clean up some, cat throw up on the floor? Like, I don't really want my reusable cloths for that. Like, So I want people to know that it's okay not to be perfect with it, and it can get very overwhelming. So one step at a time, and if you make some steps backwards, that's totally okay. You just jump back on board.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a mindset change. Being mindful of what you're doing doesn't mean that you'll do it perfectly, but at least
Mhm.
it's an awareness that you're raising, and it's first step. So
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely. All right. Well, now I'll step in and
Well,
I'll say,
sorry. I rushed. I'm sorry.
no, it's quite all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to be with us tonight. And thank you so much for our special guest, Diana, for joining us on this episode. Until the next time, everyone. Having trouble with the closing, guys. We are the Wayward Lasses, reminding you to keep it real. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Stay classy.